What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thanks for tuning in yet again to another episode of King Ross presents the Yeah I Said It podcast. We're expressing what our full capabilities until they want us in correctional facilities. Brainchild of my child, I am the dad half of this operation. Ross Cooper, still in awe of just how grimy orcas can be. As always, I am rocking with the best. My co-host, please introduce yourself to the folk.
He who controls the past controls the future. Yeah, I was good. Everybody was having a good day, month, year, hour, second, all that good stuff. You watch on other platforms. Please share with your friends, your family, your pets, enemies, all that good stuff. You watch on YouTube. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
What? No, no. So nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. What about the nothing happening?
I'm going to
All right.
live
So
your life.
if you don't, Lady Luck is gonna pass you by. See, I got to keep the tradition going since somebody over here, slacking on your Mac because Ross what you lack.
Lady life. You ruined it. You should let me cook, but you didn't want me to cook. So you gonna do it now.
No, I mean, you ain't had the flame on, yo. You ain't had the flame on lately, so I gotta. You know what I'm saying? If you fumbled on the one, I gotta pick it up and run it in. You know what I mean? Fumbled on the one, I gotta pick it up and run it in. You know what I'm
And that
saying, but
peace.
but yeah, my comments. I don't know how. And see, this is how crazy the algorithm is. I send you one video on orcas being gangster, and now my timeline is filled with them. And I admit I am falling down a rabbit hole. I am absolutely like, yo, orcas is grimy, b. Like, yo, that is the epitome of Black Air Force One energy in the sea. Like, yo, ain't no
We all
one wants
black. Oh, I have black.
it. Mostly black. But the wild part is, don't nobody seem to want it with them.
Why would
Like,
you?
listen, I'm not sure which one are bigger, orcas or
Oh,
sperm whales.
sperm
But
whales.
right, so put it this way: sperm whales have been seen to get into it with giant squids. Like you can see the scars or scratch marks on their bodies from them getting into it with giant squids. Giant squids are big AF.
Mm-hmm.
Giant squids don't either they don't cross paths or it's
They
like
don't, they
nobody
don't cross
seems to
paths.
want it. Oh,
I
okay.
think because, like I
That
said,
would be the beef.
giant squids. I mean, and the sperm whale bees because sperm whales they dive deep, and that's usually where
Mm-mm.
they are. I don't think
Super deep.
orcas dive deep. I think they
Yeah, they
just.
still breathe oxygen, so they can't, be but so.
I mean, so do
But
sperm whales, but I think they can hold their breath longer. But yeah,
true, true, true. But yeah, this is the algorithm, and now like I read that, you know, killer whales do not prefer to like use your teeth to rip things apart, or they just want to body slam shit like 15 times, like Hulk and Loki. Like, yo, that's grimy, b. Like that's just you could just bite him and call it a day. Now I'm gonna slam you 18 times first. You're gonna feel the pain. Anywho, do not go down the orca rabbit hole on the internet because you will not watch Free Willy again the same way. You will not watch Free Willy again the same way. Things that are not funny but end up being funny. So caught this in the news, and I'm like, really, dog? Rapper Afroman. Um, some folks my age might remember him from the joint he had way back when, well, because I got high. It's hilarious, hilarious comedic rap. But this dude takes the cake. He is currently being sued. Let me see. Ohio. I'm trying to figure out what city. I'm taking this from the rap, but he is currently being sued by Ohio law enforcement. So what happened is his house got raided by the cops, but he has security cameras or all kind of cameras in the house. Now, if you're getting raided, your house getting raided, ain't no whole bunch of nothing you can do. And, sadly, that can go wrong, Breonna Taylor. But what he did was take all of the video footage and put together a video. I think the track behind it was "Did you find what you were looking for?" and the cops are so upset that they're actually suing him because what's something to the effect of it damages their credibility or brings embarrassment to their their department or what have you.
You do that yourself. We don't need.
Like
Like it's not like he edited it. It literally is just y'all.
so is what you're telling us is so y'all doing y'all everyday duties is embarrassing to you?
You're not doing it well.
Oh, wait. Here's the quote I was looking for. Here it is. Here's the quote I was looking for. Um, they said they have received death threats and also suffered humiliation, ridicule, mental distress, embarrassment, and loss of reputation.
Oh,
Anybody want to tell them? Anybody want to tell them?
oh, that's so cute.
So this is what it takes for you to suffer embarrassment and loss of reputation. Yes.
Oh, I feel
So,
almost bad that I'm not there to
hmm.
celebrate too.
So killing unarmed civilians, that's not, and I hate to make this take a dark turn, but now I gotta be serious for a hot second. So killing unarmed civilians, no, that's not loss of reputation. That's not causing embarrassment.
No, that's
Uh, no knock raids, video after video of us seeing you slam black children on the ground for nothing or minor infractions. No, that's not embarrassment or loss of reputation.
nah.
No, somehow that's okay. That's all in a day's work.
It
Huh.
is.
I'm just, but let me see. Unless music videos and social media posts are taken down, plaintiffs will suffer irreparable injury to their reputation, mental health, and their legally protected rights. They're also, but they're also seeking all proceeds of the songs and videos, as well as his merchandise, including sales of the malt liquor made by his Main Street Brewing Company. So
You just want money.
y'all embarrassed or y'all trying to get a lick?
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't even think it's embarrassed. I think they just want money.
I mean, all of the money you take off of drug dealers and doesn't get reported when you see that, that's not enough for you guys.
Nah, you ain't
Oh,
finna
oh,
embarrass me, make money off me, and I don't get a piece. I'm the
before,
police.
yeah, and before someone shock and awe, oh, please don't think for a second these cats ain't skimming off the top. Like, please don't think that this is news. Me saying they probably taking money and shaking down drugs. Please don't be shock and awe. Don't have shock and awe about this.
It's part of the
Um,
game. I mean, it's part of the game. If you really don't believe that's happening, then you just you
you
believe in anything. You believe
no, you live in a really, Clarence
no,
parents have a really nice
no,
marriage. You live in a
you,
really great
no,
neighborhood where
you believe
officer
it.
friendly is there.
Yeah, you believe anything. Like I just said, that falls in the category. And they said you believe your doors can be unlocked, nothing gonna happen to you. Okay.
But shout out to Afro man. Just and that's why I love the conversations with the creative people because the creative people have different conversations. Like you said, what can I do? I'm sitting here helpless watching my shit get ran through. I got it. Because when you ain't find nothing, okay. Well now we're gonna turn the lens back on you all. And to be like we're gonna suffer damage to our reputation. Y'all got a real BSI, y'all got a real sixth sense of what your reputation includes. Real sixth sense. Because I can tell you what your reputation looks like in areas of black and brown people, and y'all got a lot more shit to be embarrassed about than this. But this is what it is. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back, huh? Y'all sitting there looking stupid because y'all don't raise somebody's house ain't find nothing.
Surprised they
I
ain't
go,
playing then.
but I go back and talk to whoever I got my intel from. That's what I do. If I go set all this up and raid, by the way, this is all taxpayer dollars, of course. But you go raid somebody's house and find what you was looking for.
This is better hiding spot. That's what it was. We'll try again.
But yeah, shout out to Afro Man. Next topic is oh boy, Jonathan Majors, one of Hollywood's two black guys right now, along with Michael B. Jordan, found himself in hot water. He has been arrested for domestic issue. Um, his U.S. Army commercials have been pulled. I'm still stuck on why someone would be doing U.S. Army commercials, but anywho, because we all know, and before all the military and veterans get all pissed off at me, remember our baseline here is one of class. So you can't help but notice rich kids don't go to war. So I'm happy for those of you who served your country and veterans and protected our freedoms and all the propaganda they feed us. But Trump's kids didn't go to war. Just saying. Neither did Biden's. Neither did, well, damn, just about any president or person of influence we can name. So before veterans get their payment, get everything all upset at us, yeah, I question why you need an endorsement deal from the U.S. Army. But to be that as it may, they have pulled. Jonathan Majors did a spot for the U.S. Army, pretty cool spot, but that's been pulled because he has been arrested for domestic violence. Now, this is where you and I are gonna have some fun, and this is the power of media. I'm gonna give the
That's Amber Alert.
I'm gonna give the answer first, and then we'll fill it in. So this speaks to the power of media overall, but also why there should be more responsibility in reporting. Because right now, in a rush to be first, it was Jonathan Major rush, da 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 da. Cool. Now, what I saw, you can tell me what you saw. What I saw all yesterday was this woman has recanted her story. There is also video evidence of what was said to have happened has not happened. Something you always say is, let's wait and see. I'm not sure why media can't do the same because now you kind of got egg on your face. Y'all was quick to report this, put it out there and da da da, and didn't let any of the dust settle. Now there might actually be video evidence saying it didn't happen. The woman in question has recanted her story, but this gets all the way around ugly. And I'll tell you some of the highlights I saw that were very scary. But where you at, man? What have you seen?
That's it first. Then reports came out. He strangled her or abused her, blah, blah, blah. And she had marks and lacerations on her ear and neck and all that. And they arrested him on the spot. So, of course, you got the side saying up, it's a lie. And then you got the side saying up, here we go, no more Marvel movies. And so I was like, man, why is it always use the chosen one? What happened? Star Wars 3 of them. But, and then I think a couple of days ago or yesterday or whatever, and then you start seeing the rescinding, up, she rescinding her, say, up, there's video evidence, up. The lawyer saying, yeah, he's innocent. We about to clear his name like right now. And here we are. And of course, as usual, when it finally comes out, whatever the truth is, which I doubt we'll ever see, but if the truth is he didn't do this, it was a false allegation, nothing will happen to her at all, unless he just sues her. Other than that, no criminal charge for wasting people's time and probably permanently ruin a man's reputation. Because some people are still going to say he got paid, she paid her off. So, yep, all
I
this
just
for nothing. This is
yeah,
why I wish. Well, this is a bigger conversation, but yeah.
I mean, we'll see because if I'm not mistaken, Chris Brown um sued the woman
I
that
just said
falsely
that.
accused him. Yeah, you're right.
Sued. But I said,
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I want criminal charges, not sued. You won't sit in the cell. The same one he was probably going to sit on if got convicted. So I want you there.
Well, this goes back to what I was going to say. Like I was saying, some very interesting takes. There's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, and this is also why, like I said, I'm gonna give the answer first. The media really should have just shut up. We just shut up, okay?
It's the microwave.
But
You got to be first, like you just said. You got to be first. Not even if it's right or not. No one cares.
it's and it's ugly and it's touchy and it shows. the media still does. Well, I don't know what exactly the media cares about other than stories, likes, clicks, and views, but the
Yeah.
media is still out of touch with um, women in a lot of ways. When you should have been opening your damn mouths, you stayed fucking quiet. You can't convince me nobody in media knew what was going on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Nobody in media knew what was going on with Harvey Weinstein. When you should have been, nobody in media knew what was going on at that damn Playboy Mansion. When you should have been breaking the story, you fucking stayed quiet. But this, and let me be very clear, I'm not absolving Mr. Majors of anything. What I'm saying is I don't know, and you should have shut up. The media should have shut up about it. Because right now, if you have this accusation, he got arrested, and there is literal video evidence that completely refute what this woman is saying.
Oh, Michael Irvin. That just happened.
Just happened.
He lost money and almost his job because of that false accusation. It took a
And
video to clear him.
mm-hmm. I mean, we get into the point now when I now see, and here's the thing. Here's the thing, because I want to be very careful because we are two black men discussing things that women go through. Somebody on my timeline made a very good point though, because if I'm not mistaken, the accuser's white. Somebody made a very good point. If
Mm.
this was 75 years ago, they'd have lynched him.
Oh, he had died.
I say, and
This has been
I said
Emmett
if we
Till
really
again.
I said, if we really want to keep it funky, 75 years, depending on where it was, might only been 50. Like 75 years ago, oh, for sure. Depending on what we talking, it might only been 50 years ago. But you can't, and it also puts, because sometimes I just sit and I watch and I look at what the reaction is, right? Because I don't celebrity jock per se, but I know a lot of people do, right? And what I was curious about was, okay, well, let's see what are my sisters saying? What are my sisters saying? And it's like I hate this because it puts sisters, black women, in this very unique position that I hate, where they have to choose being black first or a black woman first. And they're the only ones who seem to have to do that. Because on the one end, and I read a heartbreaking story from a really good a really good poetry friend of mine. There are black women who get the crap abused out of them and try their hardest not to report it because they don't want to see another black man in the system. There are, and this one is just a woman thing. There are women who get intimidated into, okay, this never happened. I'm choosing my story. As someone that worked in the court system, I've seen women, they didn't got their behind beat by some dude and they went down there and paid his bail. So there's a lot of parts here, and I really wish the media would have just shut up and waited till the dust settled, because then we can sort through. Oh, okay. And now you're not sitting there. You speaking about the accuser not having the penalty. What about the media having no penalty as well? Because if you just shut up and just waited, there's no story here. If there's video evidence, there's no story. We don't
I
even know
mean,
about it.
you can, like I said, you can report on saying he was accused and alleged, but the way that it was reported, it almost seems like, yeah, he did it. Like
Well,
what?
he was arrested for it.
I mean, like I said, some sites it wasn't. It was just saying what happened. He was alleged, he was accused of this, and he got arrested on the spot. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But well, actually, I don't even know if they can control that because people are going to run with it regardless and have made their own assumptions. Like I
Right.
said, what you just said, some people I guarantee you are going to die on the hill that he paid her off. That's why she recanted her statement. He's still an abuser. And you had people from back, I guess, in his past coming out now saying, "Oh yeah, he has a history of this." Like, okay,
I was gonna mention that too. Like, and
okay. Now we just piling on. I see. All right, let's go. Let's get it.
somebody told me something, and I didn't realize the magnitude
Tiger Woods could
of.
win him. I'm sorry.
Oh no, somebody told me something. I didn't realize the magnitude of what it is. They said, you're always going to be the villain in somebody's story, right? And it got me to thinking, and it got me to thinking about the conversation you and I had off air before we started. We usually equate, or at least I've equated, being a villain in somebody's story means there's somebody out there that thinks you're an asshole. Somebody out there that just doesn't think real highly of you.
It's fine.
But it see, and this is the thing, that ain't it though. Because I thought about it, like you said, now all of a sudden, oh, we have a history, this, that, the third, and then that got me thinking further. You gotta you gotta be real when you can. You gotta be careful because it's like I told you, there are people I'm 100% certain that will say I am a hothead, I have a bad temper, I am angry, I am aggressive. They be basing that on strictly seeing me either in the gym or on a basketball court. I can promise you right now, the people that I'm surrounded by think I am the most calmest, relaxed person on planet Earth. For the most part, I'd say they're right because nothing, I don't involve myself in things that really trigger me to be upset about much. But it got me to thinking if I'm accused of A, B, and C, you would be able to find people to say, I'm a hothead, I'm angry, I'm aggressive. And I'm like, goes out to what you said. So these folks just suddenly popped up and said, hey, he was this, that, and the third. Now, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying interesting how this comes up and it fits the narrative of what's going on. And all I'm saying is since we can't, we it would just do better to wait until we have some hard evidence of what actually happened here. Because now y'all led with this. He didn't got his army commercial pulled. Who knows what else might fall, what other fallout might be.
Damage is already done. Like I said, even with the video, all that exhibited, the damage is already done. The man's reputation took a hit.
No,
Even
no.
yeah,
If there's video evidence and this ain't go the way she said it went, oh well, now we having a different
look at
conversation.
Johnny Depp, never recover.
Johnny, good.
Has he
We
recovered?
until
What's the last thing? What's the last thing you seen him? Since the whole allegation, everyone was riding with Amber. You
do
can't.
we do
That's
we
what I'm saying.
know?
His career was killed after that. Until we find out it was all a lie, and it was the opposite. He's still trying to recover from that.
Mm,
Some people still believe Amber. That's what I'm
I'm just
saying. Like his
okay.
reputation took a hit. It's hard. The court of public opinion is it's a nasty one because once you get accused, it's a wrap for a lot of things. Even if you have evidence to disprove it, like you said, there's a video tomorrow that comes out and it gets leaked and shows that she punching him in the mouth and all that, and he just taking it.
Then
Well,
now we're having a different conversation. And see, the problem is people in general in this westernized culture like to function in extremes. It's black or it's white, and they don't see the shades of gray. Because the problem is, and the same thing we have with Amber Heard is going to go from Johnny Depp's a horrible piece of shit, blah 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 blah. Jonathan Major's a horrible piece of shit, blah 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 blah. And you see the opposite. You see the video, and it's going to be like, see these chicks out here be lying, trying to set brothers up, blah 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 blah. And like, actually, it could be neither of those things.
well, in this case, it
And
would be what you just said, the latter. But yeah.
see, and it goes back to maybe we just need to case by case it. But the
Oh,
problem,
what I've been saying.
well, see, the problem is though, we case by case it, but the quote, Hove, men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Yes, they did.
And
But go ahead.
okay, well, if numbers lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Numbers lie. Please help me understand
Well, context, they lie. Go
the
on.
ridiculously low amount of people who are even brought to trial and convicted for SA.
Hmm. Are you just saying just for women or men too?
We're talking about against women.
Okay, see, and then
Just, just, just
we
for
then
just
when you specify that little thing and not the other side, that's where you lose me. But it's all right because, like I said, I have a solution for that, but you would have to count on the justice system, and we can't. So this is what
Yeah,
it's going to
that's
be.
that's shaky.
Because I have a solution where we could kill everything, big figuratively, of course. But nope, it's not going to work. So this is what we with, because you're going to always have the camp of believe all women, which you shouldn't, and then you're going to have the camp of, well, they're all lies, which they're not. So then there you go. It's
Well, I just said
going to
that.
be
Like
two
I just said,
extremes.
we function in extremes.
Yeah,
Like
I
so,
agree. I agree.
but I mean, we've seen it's ugly all the way around. We've seen that human piece of shit that literally essayed an unconscious woman and he walked.
I never seen that.
Um, hmm?
What that happened?
Oh yeah, see what I'm saying? This was a few years back. But
I
that
forgot.
human piece of shit that, essayed an unconscious woman caught in the act. If I'm not mistaken, it was the affluenza idiot.
Who?
Yeah, his lawyer claimed he had affluenza. He was too rich, so he didn't understand conceptually no, or something like that.
Oh, see,
Caught
there you go.
in the act and walked.
That's class. Like
I mean,
I said, there's ways to fix this, but you have to trust the justice system, which no one does.
hmm,
Unless you're in it
well,
and then you have that false sense of pride or whatever. But
no, I was
pretty
gonna say
much,
it goes back to what you just said. That's class. People of a certain income bracket absolutely trust the justice system, partially because they can buy it. But
well,
our jails aren't filled with the wealthy.
no, it's
They
still the
should
poor.
be. They should be,
Oh yeah.
but they're not.
But then we won't need that many jails. It's not that many rich people. So yeah. But I mean, this yeah, like I said. Whole thing sucks.
It does. It and
His reputation is done, even if it comes out, unfortunately.
well,
So
I mean, I don't. I see. Like I said, I bet you differ. You can't. Let's do the flip. Let's do the flip. The NFL, based on what they knew at the time, treated Ray Rice a certain way. When
mhm.
video evidence came out, they had to change that because you can't argue what you're looking at on tape.
We saw
In
the
this
tape.
instance,
That's what made it worse.
well, okay, that I don't. That little detail, the whole one, not the original, not the first joint. I'm talking about the whole one. Because if I'm not mistaken, Goodell said they did not have that entire tape in their possession. So when the whole joint came out, it's like,
You
oh
believed it?
man. If I don't believe it, then you're asking me, do I believe the NFL would have covered it up? That's what you're actually
Did
asking.
they not cover up something else that's probably worse? Okay, they're clearly capable of covering stuff up. Stop it.
Nah, and
Oh,
again, this
nah.
could.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the sad reality. Not to go too far down that rabbit hole, but the NFL is a business, and they have finally figured out within the last decade or so that a huge chunk of their fan base are women. So that's why you see so many pink and pink jerseys and women jerseys and this and that and the third. So covering up DV against a woman, that affects the potential bottom line. It shows women don't give a shit and you lose fans. You lose fans, you lose eyeballs, you lose dollars. So I'm
We've
thinking it's not in their best interest to cover that up.
we've had all types of abusers that have been convicted or pled guilty and settled. Come back to NFL. This was
But
the
that's the
only one we
law.
saw on video.
Well, no, see, that's the law.
Oh,
That's the law. That's if you got accused of DV, if
okay,
you
but
went
you
to the
can't use
justice
this. You care
system,
about women logic. If I just counter that they will still let other people play. I guess, like I said, to your point, the only difference is we actually saw it. Because I'm guarantee you, if we didn't see it and we heard he got or whatever, if we didn't see the video, I guarantee you Ray Rice would still been playing.
well, based on the video we saw, he still got suspended for what? 2 games, 4 games? He
Yeah,
still
but
got
he never
suspended
played
this
again.
year.
He never played again. It was
Yeah,
right.
when the whole joint came out, oh yeah, we're
That's
done. We're
that's
done
what
here.
I'm saying. I'm saying if that video never came out, it would have been a suspension, and he would have still been playing. Just like
Well,
everyone else. You hear the story, but you don't see the actual thing. You're good with it.
but that's what's going to like. Look, men lie, women lie. The numbers in the video won't. Your reputation won't take that big hit. We can clearly see. Okay, this is some bullshit. This is literally some bullshit. Like, do women get intimidated into recanting or changing their stories? Yes,
Yes.
every day, Sally.
Yes.
But a video of, hey, this dude did A, B, and C to me. He ain't do none of that. I mean, I'm with you. Because the reality is this can ruin careers, this can ruin lives, and rewind time for a few decades, this can end lives.
That's true.
And my understanding is this is a Caucasian woman, so now you have the race
And that's
layer
what
in
makes it
there as
even worse.
well.
That makes it even worse. Because then, like I said, to be honest, because people were asking the question of, okay, what was the race one? And usually it shouldn't matter, right? But in this country, it
But
does.
I say in this country,
It matters. If it's a black man being accused of abuse or, SA, and it is a Caucasian woman, I'm sorry. The human element that we're trained by, just from the past, future, and present, we're trained to have our eyebrows raised. Like, are we sure that's what? And we shouldn't, but we do.
you should
We
because
shouldn't, but we do.
yeah,
Good. Good.
no, I was gonna say because the sad reality of it is um the other narrative of these hoes just trying to get paid and they trying to set a brother up that exists. Chris Brown is living proof of that. Michael Irvin is living proof of that. But that's where I'm like, I don't have a choice but to case by case it. But there's way more precedent for rich and powerful men taking advantage of situations. Harvey Weinstein, and there's nothing being said. So it's like, I think honestly, it's hard to take a stance. I still align myself much more closely with what women say, only because of my own personal experience. I understand everybody else's experience is different, but because of the power structure in this country and in this world. Remember, in case for anyone not keeping score at home, God is a guy. Everyone who does everything worthwhile, all own penises. The Bible pretty much lays out how wicked women can be. Um, I could keep going. I'm just not gonna. So it's like,
Yeah.
as a member of a lack of a better term minority group who can be exploited, I can't help but wonder. I know way more women that been hit and abused by regular motherfuckers than I do women that's out here trying to trap brothers. So that's why I'm like, every time something's happened with somebody famous, oh, she just out to get paid. Uh, maybe. How do you explain the sister just trying to hold it down with some abusive motherfucker though?
That's
How do you
cool.
explain that?
Yeah, but this is why you do case by case, because I know the other way around. So I guess that's all to experience. But it's okay though. This is why I hate when people take extremes and just you have to do with stuff like this, especially accusations in some serious as that. You have to do case by case. Believe in the truth. The extreme should be you believe in whatever the truth is. Find out the truth. Like I said,
You gotta have a. I mean, I think
no, you this is what I'm saying. Believe in the truth. Believe if a woman comes out and says this happened to me, believe them enough to actually look into it. This is like I said, since I'll say what my plan was to kill all this. A woman comes out to the cops, whoever. They go. They should believe them enough to look into it. I mean, really look into it. I don't care who she got accused. I don't care how much money is in his bank. Look into it. Actually look into it. Find out the truth. Once you find out the truth, if it was true, you get them, and like I said, you pack them up. If it was a lie, she gets all the charges of everything that being accused of. That's it. Easy. It's so simple. But we can't believe in the justice system because class, race, all that plays a part. And people
Sally.
take extreme sides, like you said, oh, she's lying. Oh, he's whatever.
Right. It'd be the
But
brokest motherfuckers talking about eat yourself a bread. Dog, you ain't got no bread though. So you projecting. But anywho, continue.
yeah, like I said, believe them enough to look into it, really. And that's where you have to rely on the pigs and the justice system. But we know we can't because you name examples of powerful men not getting, like I said, you just said someone got caught on video and still walked. I don't know how that's possible. But money, class, I'm assuming he was white, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, so see, you rich and white. And a white dude. Hey, yeah, are dang near bulletproof, man. I'm just saying, if you're failing in life, you're a white male. That's not good.
All right. So I do want to correct as I do want to correct myself. I got the two cases conflated. The affluenza kid, Ethan Couch, he actually killed four people. It wasn't the essay. The essay guy was a different number. Affluenza was the he was Ethan Couch who killed four people.
You got
He
over with?
served 2 years for a probation violation, but he was drunk. He was under DUI and he murdered four people at the age of 16. And yeah, affluenza was the defense because yeah, you reach a certain point of richness and you don't no one tells you no. Now here's the sad reality of it is that's an absolutely brilliant fucking legal defense because there is truth to it. Like when you have a certain income bracket, who's going to tell you no? The government can't. I mean, the government won't as long as the price is right. The cops won't as long as the price is right. I got to circle back to something I mentioned earlier. For anyone out there, please save your shock and awe. Yes, cops are bought and paid for. Just saying. Just because like that's not true. No, it's absolutely true. Cops are bought and paid for. If you can buy and pay for cops, you can also buy and pay for politicians, called lobbying.
Yeah, that's
So
literally what lottery is literally paid for
literally
politicians.
a bribe. Literally a
That's
bribe. Literally
really
a bribe.
what it is. It's a
Literally a
legal
bribe.
bribe. But go ahead.
Literally a bribe. So it's like, yeah, if you have a certain income bracket, who tells you no? It's just a matter if you have enough money to get whatever you want. But if you do, there are no limits. No one's going to tell you no. So yeah, I got it confused. I do want to correct that on air. The Affluenza team, Ethan Couch, he actually killed four people. But there, I cannot recall. But yeah, I cannot remember the name. But yes, there was a person who got caught as saying a drunk, unconscious girl in the act and did no jail. So how
We
do
had,
you?
if we had a
And I'm
competent
like,
justice system, we can kill all this, but we don't. So now we're stuck.
and like I said, this is why I lean towards women. And I'm like, it's body cameras for us and police. I said years ago, I said, what's gonna make this go away? You know what's gonna make this change? Body cameras. And now we just watch ourselves get killed in HD,
And those folks
essentially.
still walk. And they can turn it
Right,
off.
right, right.
I still
And
don't
we
understand that part.
yeah, that's weird to me. But we literally, oh, we gotta touch on that story next week too. But we literally gotta we literally see people get murked by law enforcement on camera and nothing happens. Got it. you know, and this is a case where, hey, you know, whenever you hear essay, well, we weren't there, we weren't in the room with him, all these BS excuses out here, right? Well, in this case, literally caught in the act of essaying a woman who was incapacitated, and they walk. Like, what are you supposed to do at that point? What are you supposed to do at that point?
System failed for once.
What are you supposed to do at that point? And
I'm
it's
in the
wild.
middle. I'm in the middle, case by case.
I mean, I'm with you. It's just you can't ignore the. I mean, to me, you just can't ignore the fact that it's slanted. It's absolutely slanted.
I don't know. Because then because like I said, there's guilty people that walk, and then there's innocent people that are in there.
Agreed.
So that's why I said, for me to believe that number and all that stuff, I would have to rely on the people giving the numbers and the statistics itself, and I don't. So this is why I'm in the middle. I believe in the truth. So if we can finally have a system that actually believes in the truth, then and actually does its job to seek the truth, no matter what circumstance, then yeah, we have something. But until then, I'm case by case. I don't care what is who's accused and what's said what.
Okay. 2019, it was Brock Turner. That's what it was. That's what I was looking for. It's Brock Turner. Um, yeah, that was an ugly one. That was an ugly one, but it was the Brock Turner case. I wanted to get that one right. It was 2016, and yeah, she was essayed while unconscious. Brock Turner, and he walked. So yeah, pardon me if I extend a little more grace to my women counterparts.
That's for you. That's cool for you. I'm just
Yeah.
saying me. I'm not.
Wow. That's yeah. Oof. 19-year-old, 19-year-old freshman at Stanford. Ooh, boy, this was ugly. I was just running back. I totally forgot. I didn't forget, but now I'm looking at the details. Like, oof, that's bad. All right, so I'm gonna move forward, but yeah, like I said, my baseline is different than most, and there's that. This is a weird time we live in, and this is yet another piece I'm kind of divided on. Um, there's another piece of this puzzle here. I'm taking this one off the BBC. Trans track and field athletes can't compete in women's international events. So the World Athletics Council, voting body for international track and field, will bar transgender women athletes from elite competitions for women. What I've heard from in passing, well, in my peripheral, from a lot of people from the LGBTQIA plus community, is that there's a war going on against them, right? Now, one of the things I don't always appreciate is when they try to compare their issue with the black struggle in this country. I don't think those two things are comparable. Be mad at me if you choose to. That's your choice. I just don't think by any stretch of imagination are those two things comparable. But this here, just that's what I started with. These are some strange times we live in, man. Because it would be hard pressed for me not to look at this and say, you know what? There might be some kind of war going on against them, and it seems like such misplaced energy. Like, really, Uganda? You're just gonna you're making gay a crime. You're going to put someone in a cell for 20 years because of who they choose to love. Not not a pedophile. Not, not because they love me at that connection. So because in this country we love to try to correlate homosexuality and pedophilia. Why I don't know, but
It
okay.
depends. I mean, if it's a man and a boy, that kind of is the same thing, right?
Well, see, I say the two things are totally different. Complete. Like I don't make that leap because I think it's fear mongering. Like the biggest, like the whole bathroom thing. Well, we don't want some guy pretending to be a girl to go into the girl's bathroom and it can someone please. I'm not saying it's never happened, but it just
You're
seems
not a
like
woman. You're not a woman.
misplaced
That's
fear.
this is one of them times where you not being a woman, you can't speak on that. But um, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So it's like, yo, it's how the prodigy say is war outside no man is safe from. I'm just like, okay, so you're gonna criminalize being gay, and then the World Council is going to say, hey, no trans women can compete in female races. One, the sentence itself is kind of funny because you say trans women can't compete in female events, and the whole point of it. But anywho,
Wait, did
no,
they
I
say
agree.
women or female? Because if they said women, then someone could have make it argument. If they said female, there's no argument. That's a good title. I don't remember if they actually said.
This is the article. This is the article. They said, there's some eyebrow raised parts that the council actually said though. The article said itself will bar transgender women athletes from elite competitions for women. So I'm like, I bet
Yeah,
targets athlete, okay. And this is where, and I don't know enough about the science of it, but what
they
they're
messed up.
saying is largely targets athletes who transition from male to female after going through puberty as a male.
So
It will also tighten rules for athletes with disorders of sexual development, cutting in half the level of testosterone athletes can have or compete in women's events. Now, see, that's going to be real. Now, that's going to be interesting too.
yeah, what? What was the last one?
It will also tighten rules for athletes with disorders of sexual development, cutting in half the level of testosterone athletes can have in order to compete in women's events. So they're trying to do a twofer. Basically, and this is where I get the headline was clickbait. This is where it gets really interesting. And now you start to raise an eyebrow a little bit. It's not just trans women.
Mm-hmm.
It is also if you happen to be a woman who has a high testosterone level, it happens. You out too. So basically, they're
Did
gonna
they,
start doing blood
wait,
tests.
do they have it that high though? Because if they do, then they're probably assuming that they're doping. A woman actually has that high of testosterone,
I
unless
mean, I
you're
don't know what.
considered what is it? I can't say the old term for it because apparently that's
Okay.
insulting. Uh, you're sexually both. What is it?
Oh, Jesus, I know what you're talking
I
about, and
know
I'm
the old
sorry.
term, but I was made
I'm trying
aware
to
you get some
remember. I'm trying to remember. I know what you're talking about. It's when you're both sex,
yes,
intersex. There you go.
intersex. Yeah. So are they trying to target them?
They're trying to target anybody who has a certain amount of who is a. Woof, boy, I'm trying
So
to figure
what
out how
is
to say this properly.
so what is the
Basic,
normal? Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the science, and that's the science of it all. You got to know that. Like if they're saying, hey, if you were born male and you went through puberty as a male, you cannot go and transition now and become female and run in
Woman.
right. So the conundrum with that obviously is going to be I don't know of too many places you can actually transition before puberty.
Right.
So
Isn't that
there,
against the law?
right. So there's that. So this is where
So
there's a war on
you okay?
trans people.
So
There's a
that
war on trans people.
I guess
You
I
have
guess
some teeth.
well, I don't know about see, and then this is why I didn't want to group the two conversations because those are kind of separate. But I guess I'll start with the Uganda thing because I don't want to have two different kinds. I don't want to group those together, even though they're in the same community. I think one is more extreme and different than the other. But
He's trying to
um,
get us killed. Go
I'm
ahead.
not. It's the truth. But is it like I said? Are we going to have honest conversations, or if I say something that opposes everyone's point of view, like be labeled this, and then this is why everyone gets turned off, including your own people. But that's not really it. But yeah, Uganda thing. Not surprised. It's another country. Like I said, most of these countries are ultra religious. Whether it's you can name any of the big three. Most of them look down on the on gay. Like I said, there's some countries you can be killed or stoned still. There's other countries you can still be jailed for it, especially in high Muslim countries. Like I said, everyone doesn't think like the West. And I think that's where everyone gets confused here, especially that community is like, okay, we're going to spread our stuff here. and expect everyone to fall in line here, which is fine, and then try to go overseas with that, and you will find out real quick that people do not. I understand the United States is a superpower, but we have no say on the types of governing laws that other countries have because they don't play that over there. They do not. So I'm not surprised. Is it harsh? Yes. Is it homophobic? Yes. Is it surprising? No. So,
So
like I said, Uganda just did the greatest. If you're ultra homophobe, they just pulled the Suge Knight. Like I said, you tied all the rainbows, all the men's wearing dresses and all that stuff. Come to Uganda, but I'm not surprised. It sucks, but it's other countries, man. They don't follow what the West has here, unless you're Florida.
what's
Florida's
oh
starting
boy.
to.
Oh geez, not
Florida's definitely starting. They're trying to do that. So
Florida is just weird. Like Florida is the one place.
well, the
Florida is the
South in
one
general,
place.
but Florida is going
Yeah, Florida.
hard.
Florida's been special though. Like Florida is the one place you can read a headline and not know where it happened and be like, oh, that was some Florida shit.
But I'm just saying they are going extreme. Like they are trying to get rid of a lot of stuff now, man. Thanks to that
Well,
government that you want
yeah,
to
just
run the president. Yeah,
the
okay.
Satan. Oh, absolutely. He is the Republican conservatives' wet dream. Like, oh, absolutely. He's,
He is.
he a short fence away from the South shall rise again. Like,
He's not a
I
short fence. He really did. He's there.
like he's so good. He didn't got everybody off the Trump bandwagon on his bandwagon. So kudos to him. Um,
It's good. Split the vote. Thank you. But
but
yeah,
yeah,
but to the trans thing. All right. So, from what you just told me on the guidelines, where it looks like basically you transition at all, you're not playing. It's just rap.
is
Basically,
that
mostly, well, actually, it's one sided again because it has nothing to do with trans men. This is all trans women stuff, as usual. It's one sided. It's a one
and
sided war.
that leads to questions, man. Like, so is it just not happening, or is it not getting the pub because it's not the clickbait that this is?
I don't know. I don't, because like I said, from thinking from experience, when women try to play men's sports, no one really cared. Because I played Pop Warner football a long yonder ago. I think the first year I played, we had a girl on our team. No one cared.
Oh yeah. True
No one
indeed.
cared. We treated her like, oh, no one, she didn't want no special treatment. We treated her like no one cared. I promise you, no one cared.
True.
But
True
if
that.
you try to do the other way around, everyone is going to care. And that's for a reason. Like I said, things like no one, like I said, because one, women aren't necessarily trying to bully their way into men's spaces. It's always men trying to bully their way into women's spaces, and I think that's why it's a problem. I think that's why we see it's a one-sided thing. Because I don't think anyone's that's well, there's people that are transphobic, but I don't think anyone's necessarily trans. I think it's half. Because let's be honest, I've probably seen trans men before and not know. Now,
On the
if
other
you see
side
a
too.
trans woman, you're probably gonna know. You can't really hide that, unfortunately. So usually they blend in. It's just one of them situations where it's like the quote unquote enemy can blend in, so you won't even know.
The enemy, yo.
No, I'm saying in the terms. Don't you know like how they say? Remember we had conversations with Jewish people, but they mostly are white, so you can still look. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. You can still
For
look like your
context,
oppressor.
so yeah, thank
So,
you for context. Yeah, just for those listening before they try to kill us.
oh yeah,
Um, the Jewish people have had the advantage be over black people and African people because Jewish people have the ability, depending on how their phenotype is, they can actually look like the oppressor.
yes, that's yeah. You explain it
Okay,
much better than I
I
do.
got you. I got
I'm
you.
saying the same thing for the trans men that when they get all testosterone with full beard, muscles, and I guess the breast remove. Unless you see them like completely naked, you will not know.
No, true fact. I got a friend of mine I went to school with, was a trans guy, and I'm like, if I didn't know you when we were kids,
That's my
wouldn't have a
point.
clue.
You can blend in with your oppressor. That's the point I was trying to make. Now trans women can't. It's real rare.
I'm about to say
It's
they,
real rare. No, I mean I've seen some. I say, okay, I'm not sure,
bro. You
or I'm
okay? So
like,
clearly you don't have so you don't play on social media, but so much because yeah, it's. I was listening to him like, oh, trust me, it's in both sides. It's absolutely on both sides, and that unfortunately explains some of the violence because it's a ton of guys out here that are talking to people that they do not know are trans women, and then find out they are trans women, and shit goes left.
no, it's a small percentage because some of the like, I get what you're saying, but sometimes the people that get caught and do that, you can tell right away. You just don't. You just mad you got caught. Like that's some of them is just you just mad you got caught. Some of them I do believe, yeah, you can't tell. I agree. It's rare, but
Like I said,
makeup's beautiful. Makeup and
from
surgery is
the
beautiful.
from the
But
surgery, from the stuff I've seen online, I'm like, because Miss Bliss used to point out to me like, this person's trans. I'm like, ain't no way. Literally, like, and I'm looking like, huh? No, seriously. So
it's
it's
rare. It's
I
rare.
don't
If we play in the numbers game of between a trans man and trans woman, we had a room full of both. You would, I think the numbers would heavily sway on the trans man.
now I wouldn't be much of a dad if I didn't tell you that very notion feeds into the violence, bro. Just letting you know.
I'm
That
not.
very
Hey,
notion feeds into the violence because
I'm just being honest.
everybody
We're
thinks
going off
that
appearance. I'm going off appearance. Most, like I
exactly.
said, but most of them you can tell, especially the ones that do the violence. Most of them are just mad because they got caught. Let's be real.
I don't think so. I think because we wouldn't know. It's not one of those things where we don't know until after the violence is committed, which means this person fully thought they were dealing with someone that was not trans.
So who's that? Okay, whose fault is that then?
That's a that now that we were talking about
No,
into
like I
earlier.
said,
I do
see,
not have
that's
the
why I
answer to.
said part of the
If
violence is like, okay, if you do got that and that person legit doesn't know and you didn't disclose this, but even though I'm pretty sure most people do now, maybe because of that, like, yeah, I'm trans women, not just women. So yeah. Now if she disclosed that to you, then that's what I said. Now if you did not know and you did not tell them, that's why I said I think it's in your best interest. If you are a trans woman, you should probably disclose that. Don't even assume that they know. Just do it. It
I
might save
mean,
your life.
it's just
But
wild.
but
That's
yeah,
just totally wild. But yeah,
back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Yeah, they just try and get all I guess like I said, just trans women out of here completely. Because I don't think you can legally do this before you
hey,
hit
bro.
puberty.
But that I'm also like you're trying to get trans women out here. Clearly, I agree with you there. But then that other little caveat, like, yo, if you, because I was looking at the language of like disorders of sexual development. Now this is the article, not the council, but basically, if you are one of those women who just naturally has high testosterone, they coming at you too. So now it shifts. The article is clear clickbait and highlights the issue with trans women.
Oh,
But now, if you happen to be a woman who has high testosterone, like
I just need to know what's the normal amount. I
That's a
don't know
that's a,
that's it.
that's a science question. Like I know mine. I know what's normal for guys. I
Yeah,
don't know
well,
what's normal for
guys,
women.
I know
Like no,
it's
seriously.
lower.
Most people have no idea what normal testosterone levels are.
What's the normal for guys?
But, the norm is about anywhere between about 400 NGL per DL. I'm using the science here. So basically, the low end you can have a range between 200 for the sake of this conversation to make it easy, the lowest number is like 200. The high number is about 800. As long as you get your blood test, you're at about 400 ish and up, you're okay. Now you can't have it too high because even as guys, it'll thicken your blood viscosity will get basically it'll thicken your blood. That's not good either. Tumble down a bodybuilding rabbit hole a little bit. That's why guys who bodybuild give blood all the time as much as they can because it'll help thin the blood back out. But yeah. If you're in that 800 or somehow beyond that, now your testosterone is too high.
So,
That's not good
so,
either.
so I'm
For
guessing.
women, I have no idea. Like
I'm guessing
our
it's probably
low
like
end is
200
200.
or 100. I mean, I'm assuming. I know they have less than us, but I just don't.
Right.
Okay.
But if you have one of those women who have who, like you said, who might have been born intersex, or that's just what it is, you can't run neither, and that's completely unfair on that
That is.
end too. Because now the
But
question is, so what you
but
want? You want just
but then again, is it unfair? Because then that will give them an advantage. Depending if theirs is higher than the normal. I don't like I said, I can't say because I don't know the normal level for it. I'll
mm-hmm.
admit to that. But if theirs is substantially higher, like is basically on par with the men's, like the numbers you just said, either they're juicing or it is that's normal, but they have an advantage. Is that not an advantage?
I mean, no. I'm gonna say no. Here's why. Well, because I'm looking at big picture shit. Here's what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is a matter of when we start now, not the trans part. What we're talking about here is a matter of genetics, right? And the reason, if that's because that can be a advantage, because what's next? If you have an abundance of fast twitch muscle fiber, that's an advantage. That is genetically predetermined. See, trans is another discussion, but when we start talking about, the reason this really starts getting silly is because, yeah, that's the interesting part about competition. Everybody's got advantages of some sort. Michael Jordan, he had the ability to jump in the fucking gym, and maybe his calf muscles were a disadvantage. I mean, an unfair advantage because he could hang in the air like nobody's business. Everybody's got an advantage. When you start talking about genetic predisposition, now you're going down a
Yeah,
slippery slope to me.
but there's and that's why I disagree. Yeah, genetic. If you're tall, fast twitch, that's fine. We're talking about in the sense of basically doping, like steroids. I mean, steroids, which is basically testosterone for everyone that know that. So you're dumping more of that in there, or human growth hormone stuff like that, which is I think it has something to do with the testosterone too. But
Mm.
yeah, they have doping rules for a reason because if you have that extreme amount, then the quote unquote normal amount or within the range, that
So what if
gives
you're
you an
born with it?
unfair advantage.
What if you're born with it?
Hmm? But that's
What if you're
not
born with
normal.
it?
That's not normal. We talking about strictly for women. That's not normal. So if it because I highly doubt that so unless you're intersex that a woman will be born with the same testosterone level as a man
I mean, well,
on the
I will
high,
say this:
like the
we
medium or
don't.
high.
Neither one of us has done enough research to know yay or nay. So we're getting into uncharted
That's what I'm
territory here,
saying.
man.
But I'm saying, even if, but I'm saying, if we know the number, there's doping rules for a reason to kind of even the playing field. So if everyone's in terms of the testosterone level is around equal, and then the only advantage you have is the other genetics, fast twitch, whatever, or maybe you have thinner blood, whatever. Your mindset, your mentality, all that, whatever. That's fine. You can have those advantages, but yeah,
Bro, if I
testosterone
if
advantage and all that, that's a whole other ball game, my
if it's
boy.
a hundred if it's a 100 meter race and I have an abundance of fast twitch muscle fiber, I automatically have an advantage over you.
That's fine. That's not doping. That has nothing
Testosterone
to do
want to
with
race that.
doping. You can't, there's no drug you can take to do that. I can
If
pump more
you
testosterone. I can't pump fast twitch fibers in my body.
you absolutely can. However, if your body just does it, there's nothing you can do about that.
They're probably going to say for this, like I said, it is probably stupid. Like I said, I don't know why. I agree with you why they added the testosterone part because if you wanted to get rid of trans women, all you had to do was the first part right there. You can participate if you didn't transition before puberty, which is basically against the law. So basically, yeah, you're done. It's over. You didn't have to add the second part unless you're trying to get rid of steroids.
Unless you're trying to make it not look like it's a war against trans women.
That too, or you know that y'all
Like
have a doping problem, which might be the case too. So yeah,
I,
that might be two birds with one stone. You
so
never know.
like I said, I get your hesitation to not conflate the two, but I'm a person, I look big picture. And for most part, you and I's big picture is the same in a lot of ways. The big picture is overall equality for people. We are all world citizens. There is no reason for most of us to have to go through the BS we go through, right?
Agreed.
So when I hear folks in the LGBTQIA plus community say, "Hey, there's a war going on against us," I gotta, as a member of a BIPOC group, I gotta hear it and say, "Okay, is there merit here?" Like from the outside looking in, is there merit here? Is there something to that, or just taking something and running with it? And I'm like, okay, so we got Uganda talking about if you gay, you know. You got Uganda talking about if you gay, you could do 20. You got people here making laws talking about don't say gay. You got them saying trans women can't run. I'm like, wait a minute
You
now.
can't see. Okay.
I can't look at all of this and be like, nah, that's bullshit. I'm like, wait a minute. And the thing, the reason I come to that conclusion is this: does locking up gay people get us any closer to equality? No. Does
Well,
saying trans people can't run, trans women can't run, does that, if if no trans woman ever ran, right? And I'm not disregarding those who rock with that ideology, but if
mhm.
trans women never ran in a race, does that get rid of our classism, our racism, our sexism? No. So
Does it
that's what I'm
help?
like.
Does
I'm
it
sorry.
help? Does it help?
What do you mean?
No. Does it help? Anything you just said, get rid of all that other stuff. No. So this is
Does
like I
it? Well,
said.
the question is, if your question is, does it push us further back? Yes.
No.
How not? We
Can I
spending
explain?
time, energy, and effort writing these goofy ass laws about if you
Can
gay,
I
you going to
explain?
jail 20 years. Like,
Can I
what
explain?
what
Can
is
I
it?
explain? This is because this is why I said I don't want to group these two because
Lean with it, rock with it.
this is
Lean with it, rock
all
with
this
it.
is all different and in the same. I get what you're saying. Like I said, other countries don't ride by this. And most people in the world are religious. They don't ride with it. That's a minority. Like there's not a war against you because that was already there. Since the scriptures were written, there were any of them. They don't ride with you at all. Never
Okay,
did. And they're never going to. Especially in other countries where religion is the main thing.
okay,
You got
I
it
see your
good
point.
here in America because at least they will abide by you to a certain extent. I said, unless you live in the South, where I agree, I think the South is having a war against gay people. Not the whole country. I think it's the South, mostly Florida. But I think the South, that because some of the stuff you name, the laws that they're doing and that they're enacting, yes. Now with the trans thing on the world thing, I don't think that's against y'all. I think that's more pro actual females. I- and that notice I
Fair,
said
fair.
female. This is why I said female and not women.
Okay, okay,
Female.
I got you.
I
So
think
you're,
because
for
because
clarity's
because you
sake,
also because we love when it comes to stuff like this and them competing, and this is what I don't like. We try to listen to everything they say, and then we disregard the actual females that have to compete. Like people's fathers and mothers that actually compete actually get upset because it's like, yo, that's not fair. My daughter worked hard for this, and blah blah blah. You telling me a 40-year-old man that transitioned to womanhood just came and beat young women in their prime?
all right. So that was really specific. You might want to clarify what you mean.
Isn't that what we were talking about?
No.
Oh, oh, we didn't get to that part yet. No, I'm sorry. We'll get to that. I'm sorry.
Well, no.
Well,
I mean, it's all in there
this
because
is in there.
this feeds into um.
But I'm
Let me
saying, like,
see.
it just seems like I'll use your term for because you love saying like women are still being disrespected. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand why it's a sin for them to have their own league. I don't think anyone will care if they had your
The
own league. That would be fair.
uh,
Because most of these sports, every gender, every sex has their own league for a reason. You're competing amongst yourselves. No quote unquote fair, unfair advantage. But if we
okay.
have one person that switches over after puberty and stuff, it's not fair.
I mean, and to give context to what you mentioned. There's a trans woman athlete who won a New York City cycling race. Says she feels like a superhero, and critics warn women's rights in America are being destroyed. So Tiffany Thomas dominated the field in a New York City cycling race at the weekend. This was a few days ago. This was March 22nd. Um, Born male, and ooh, only really started taking up cycling in 2018.
Oh, yeah.
46. And I'm looking at the picture from the podium. Nobody seems to care. The other two women there just they're
They
happy to
have
play second or third.
they
No,
have to.
like it's not. Well, I'm put it this way: it ain't the fake smile. It ain't like,
You
hey, I'm just
get
going along to get along.
for as a person that speaks smiles that you if you're really good at it, you'll never be able to. But either way, I'm not gonna go on the psyche of the woman. Like I said, I think some might be cool and some might be like, yo, this is bull. And the people that think it's bull has a right. Like
So
we can
what's
solve
the
this
so
real
what's the
easily. Just
what's
have
the
your
answer?
own league. Why is that so hard? You're trying so
Easy.
hard to push
It's
to be in these spaces that you don't need to be in terms of competition. I don't care about where you go to the bathroom or that. You can fine. I'm talking about in the art of competition. That's a whole nother thing.
both of those things don't agree, sir. Because if you can on one end say I don't care where you go to the bathroom,
I mean,
then
there's
you are
unisex bathrooms where everyone can go. So there you
well.
go.
I mean, the thing is this: if a trans woman is a woman and a trans man is a man, there's no need for a separate league. Why would I compete separately from women? Trans woman is a woman.
Because now we're gonna get into the real terms, and then now this is where we gotta have real conversations. Okay, you're a man in gender terms, but let's go into sex terms. You're not that. You can't change that. You never can. You never will be able to.
You can
And
mute.
this is why I said in female sports. I didn't say women's sports. That's why. I said female sports. Keep the females in the female sports and the male in the male sports. There, we have two separate leagues. What cis quote unquote man is trying to force their way to play in the WNBA? No one.
The
What WNBA players
WNBA.
trying to force their way to play in the NBA? No
I
one.
think the WNBA actually has either a non-binary or a trans player in it, and they seem to all be cool with it.
Okay.
So it's like we gotta be real careful imposing basically heteronormative ideals on people who don't want to ride with that.
Gender.
Because
I don't care. Just sex. Just have your own league. What's wrong with that?
and I gotta circle back to why would I need my own league? One, there may
Why
not be enough
not?
people to compete with.
Why not?
Two,
You probably will. There's a lot, so you will.
I think you're missing the point there though.
You just said they won't have enough people. Now you're saying, "Oh, this is the point."
No,
Which one is it?
no. I said I think you're missing the point here. If a trans woman is a woman, why am I not competing with women?
You trying to set me up? I'm not even trying to say. All
No, no,
right.
no, no. I'm just no. I'm answering you the question. I'm not. I'm doing it partially rhetorically. You don't have to answer it, but I'm
I
giving you
know
your answer.
you're doing
I'm
the
giving you. I'm
argument,
giving
the
you your
basic
answer.
argument. I got you. I got you.
Right. I'm just giving you
But
your answer.
like I just said, the evidence will say, how does a 40-year-old person who recently just started doing it join a trans woman, join a women's bicycling and win it in almost
I
dominant
mean,
fashion against women in their quote unquote prime?
it's
Name a
listen.
sport where someone can do that. Just in their own sport. Like a 40-year-old can come off the couch. Let's say Michael Jordan right now come off his couch and average 30 in the NBA right now. No, you can't. No
Listen. I
one
don't.
does that unless you switch over and you
You.
have quote unquote inferior competition. This is why every sport is separate.
I just get really, and this is the rebel in me. I just get real shaky on anything, any governing body or anyone trying to tell me what you're protecting me from. When I hear,
It's not
well,
protection.
hold on.
Go ahead.
Well, let me explain. When I hear a bigger movement of athletes that not just here and there, because we do hear a lot of here and there. We do. But when I hear like someone taking a formal vote, hey, should we ban trans athletes from our league? Should there be no trans athletes in the WNBA? Da, 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 da. When I hear that, I'll pay a little more attention. But it's just I get shaky on systems and institutions trying to tell me what's good for me. Classic example. For those in the fitness community, they can go back and remember the original Jack 3D formula. It was pretty much damn near amphetamines in a bottle. The U.S. government was like, nah, I can't have that no more. Why not? Like, why not? Hydroxycut, the original hydroxycut. Yeah, that was like it was a reason you dropped like 20 pounds in a week on hydroxycut. But people were abusing it. Government came and said, nope, can't have hydroxycut anymore. But I can have a Big Mac. But I can drink alcohol.
Of
So I get a
course.
little shaky on governing bodies trying to tell me what's for my own good. Let the people decide that. How does that apply to this? I'm not denying what you're saying has merit. What I am saying is, look, when I hear more athletes come out and say, hey, we shouldn't have more trans folks playing with us.
They're not going
We want
to.
that ability.
Oh, see, and this is why I disagree. Everything you just said just dies. They're not going to. Because the same thing you're shivering your pants about right now, and probably about to tell me at the end of this podcast that we're going to be labeled transphobic, that's why.
Because here's
Yes,
the
it
thing.
is. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no,
No
no.
one wants to speak out. No one wants to speak out.
Let me explain. Let me explain. Hypothetically speaking, right? Let's just say the WNBA players all collectively said, "Hey, no trans athletes or we walk," right? And the WNBA says, "Nah, we gonna let trans women play," and they walk. Now you have no league, so the people have the power. The athletes have the power.
They're not going to do that because of the one. The WNBA is not going to do that because they're already taking the hit because they're a failing business. But two, you're gonna get the greatest label ever of what you because you basically just accused me of doing it right now. If all the quote unquote women said they don't want this other women to join and play with us, then you're clearly being phobic. You're not going to fight. You're not going to beat them charges. People are afraid. They don't want to do that. Anytime you speak against that, that's what you're going to be labeled. This is why no one talks about it. And it's usually, like I said, and it's sad because it's one-sided. It's usually trans
Well, we
women.
don't. Well,
You
like
don't
so, let's
hear
be careful on
nothing
that
from
one.
trans men. Nothing. Not a
Let's be
beat.
careful, and that's the part I got to caution you on. Don't hear nothing because nothing being said, or don't hear nothing because it's not as clickbaity.
Could be both. Two things could be true.
So I can't
And not
jump
to
on
mention,
the.
oh, actually, no. I'm gonna keep that right there because you sent me a conversation. They had a sit down, and
Mhm.
you said this off air that it was between trans men and I guess cis men, and they were just
Mhm.
talking, having a normal conversation. What makes you
Yeah,
this? And they were talk. They had a honest dialogue between back and forth. No one got butt hurt. It was cool. And then the first thing you've said, don't lie, is that you cannot have that conversation with trans women and cis women. Wouldn't
because
work.
it's gonna be way too emotionally charged. Anytime that comes up, it's like,
Oh, so what? So what? So that's why it's a one-sided beef in war. You just proved my point. Thank you. Anyway, so no, I just no, 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 no. And plus, like I said, how I know also, like I said, I forget the lady's name. She plays in WNBA. She's a star. I think it's something Pumbly. I can't remember it for. I'm sorry. But she basically said in the interview why I won't compete with NBA players, which is the men, cis men for all you that use those words. That yeah, shooting contest, I can compete because that's all skill. Ain't really nothing. Okay, now I think she could. Now if we just talking about regular ball playing the lead, she's like, nah, I can't. The ball's bigger, they're bigger, faster. They cut the game is way faster. Like I wouldn't be able to compete with that, and that's fine. It's the
eh,
truth. But it's fine. It's okay, man. Man, I hate these stupid conversations. But yeah, Uganda's wilding. The rest of the world is wilding. The South, there really is a war on y'all. I agree with that. They definitely are. And that's stupid.
uh, It's going to take a lot for me to start seeing marginalized people as an enemy. I do know
I
people
don't
who,
think
for
they're
some
an
odd
enemy.
reason, I mean, that's you and I. And sadly, I've seen conversations of known black people who swear because there's an agenda and so on and so forth that they're the enemy of black folk. And I'm like, my maybe my baseline is way too basic, but my thought process is this: if the shit go down, you shooting with me or no? That's really really on a base level. All I care about. All of this is window dressing. If the
This
shit goes down, you shooting at these cops with me or no? You shooting, you trying to overthrow the government with me or no? I don't care in a certain regard about your parts.
but you don't care. Everyone else does. Because I said that a while ago. You said, "Oh, you can't say that."
No, no, no. In this, in the context, in the larger scheme of things, like care because I respect you as a human. And in the context of society we have to deal with each other in right now, it has to matter.
I've said that.
But in bigger picture, the bigger picture,
Said that.
then if I misunderstood you, I apologize. But in the bigger picture, yeah, you blasting back or no?
Are you black or not? But we all have labels.
Yeah, you can be on like no, and like I said, you can be on the black part. You blasting at oppression or no?
That
You
too.
you 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 clapping at these colonizers or no? I don't really all that other shit, man. Like
That
it's all
shit.
love over here, fam. Because
Yeah.
whether or not you an ally to me has nothing to do with your pronoun. That's my thing.
See,
Whether or
now
not you my
can't say it.
ally,
See, can't
and
see that. That's part of my identity. So now you disrespecting, dog. See, this
no,
you
no,
can't
no,
see
no,
that
no, no.
stuff. It matters.
Um,
I'm gonna be an ally, and I'm gonna be he, they, or themmer. You gonna respect that?
you wow. But anywho, let's recap it and wrap it up. Good stuff, good stuff. Start from the top. Afro man, salute, sir. I need to
Afro.
go see if I can download a copy. I need to see if I can download a copy. Oh my goodness, that is just epic. Jonathan Majors is just the power of media, man. It would have did y'all better to shut up and wait. But you know
Yeah.
that ain't that ain't how media do. That ain't how media do. We got a couple of points to get to, but we'll definitely touch on that next week. But other piece in this big thing, Uganda is tripping. Y'all tripping. I get it. That's y'all way, but that's y'all tripping, bro. I would think in that country y'all got better stuff to worry about, but hey, what do I know? Y'all tripping. Um, World Athletics Council. Honestly, my take is y'all tripping too. Y'all just like so who do you want to run? Who do you want to run? You don't want trans women to run, okay? You don't want a certain amount of testosterone to run, even if it's natural output. Okay. Who do y'all want to run?
Everything
Help
that's
me
not
in
that. Just not that. That's
like
pretty
what?
simple.
But yeah, I think y'all tripping too, B. But your recap, sir.
Afro. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have it blasting driving past police station. Jonathan Majors. Yeah, the damage is already done. I mean, the only saving grace is the video, but even then, it might still be done. Uganda is lame, but it's the rest of the world. That's how most of the world feels, unfortunately. I don't know why just being gay requires me to be jailed for that long or killed, but it's God's will, I guess.
Yeah, Drake voice, God's plan.
I mean, I thought, God was supposed to deal with that, not us, but, you know,
You know,
I
what do
guess
we
we
know?
ignore that part. We want to, yeah, whatever. Okay. Yeah, the banning the trans women thing. I don't necessarily have a problem with that part. I think there is a war in the South, though. Definitely. I definitely do. They trying to get you out of here. The same way they're trying to erase history too. So they're trying to get both of us out of here, black and gay. So if you're not just white and straight, then yeah, don't live in the South, my boys and girls and days and thems. But
Yeah, man.
uh, was that it?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, man, that's what we got. But by next week, we can talk about John Wick. I saw it already. I was sitting
Yeah,
on a
them
3.75. Only thing I'll tell you, sir, it's got some meat to it. It's
3.75. That's not good
yeah,
for John. As much as
and
people
you.
hype this movie, that's it's not good.
I mean, you want me to give you small hints or just wait till you see it?
I'll wait till I see it.
Okay. I
I
mean,
want
it's
to be
almost
caught.
3 hours though. It's almost end game length.
Oh Lord, does it feel all right? Does it at least feel like 3 hours?
Not exactly.
Because Avatar didn't feel like 3 hours. Did this? Does
Outside of
this
feel
one?
like 3 hours. End game didn't feel like 3 hours. This see, I'll say not exactly, but you'll see why when you go see it. I'll say not exactly, but you'll see why when you go see it. But 3.75. 3.75. That's
Not
not
even
bad. It's just
four.
3.75. Yeah, not quite four. But everybody out there, thank you for tuning in. This was fun. We actually got more stuff to touch on next week built in, have some more fun conversations. Yeah, this is a good one though. But we appreciate you all listening at home, watching on the tube, every other platform. Hopefully my man will be cooking again with some cautionary about if you don't listen and subscribe. If not, I'm gonna keep picking up that fumble and running with it. Keep
That's all you,
picking
buddy.
up fumble and running with it. But on behalf of myself and my co-host, yeah, I said it podcast. Peace.
Yeah.